MasterPiece Cloud Advanced Costing Module Features and Benefits. This video shows some of the features of the Advanced Costing module. This module builds on the Standard Costing module with the aim of making revisions to accessory and labour charge selections easier to do, improving the process of doing revisions, especially when several estimates have been done, proving additional selections, for example for door trimmings and open plan stairs, automating the costing to be quicker and slicker, configured to your organisation's cost rules, thereby to achieve consistency and avoid mistakes of omission. Improved selling, for example, providing terms and conditions to the customer and taking an on-screen signature. And finally, providing information about margin and profitability. We will first look at how revisions to accessory and labour charges are made easier to do. The accessories and labour tasks are generally applied to individual rooms when creating the rooms by selecting the Info button and making appropriate selections. However, the selections may need to be changed from discussion with the customer or when a customer selects a revision. For instance, the customer might phone up the store a few days after receiving their estimate. Revisions are most conveniently done here at the cost breakdown, using a facility which is provided within the Advanced Costing module. Let's assume, for instance, that the customer wants to change the selected underlay. We click to edit the underlay. We get a panel at which we can see which underlay is currently applied to each room. If we wish to change the underlay for all the rooms, we select to apply a different underlay to all rooms. If we want to change the underlay for just one room, we can do this by selecting the drop-down for that room. And if we want to change the amount of underlay for a room, we can do that here as well. When we click OK, the selections we have made are shown in the cost breakdown. We can make other changes similarly, such as for who is going to do the furniture removal. So we might select for the customer to remove furniture from some rooms to make the quote to the customer somewhat lower. If the item we are wanting to change isn't already in the breakdown listing, then we can get the same panel up by selecting it here. Then we can select the product type we are wanting to apply, for instance, for who will be doing the old carpet disposal. And we select that the fitter will be doing the disposal. The Advanced Costing module also allows a different fitting charge to be applied than the price held in the library, when the default charge applied is not the correct one. We will now look at the process of doing revisions. The facility we will look at here is potentially useful for both the estimator and the in-store user, who may get contacted by a customer who is asking for a revision. We will assume that the customer has given consideration to the two estimates and has decided that they prefer the first estimate but would like to make a revision to it. At the moment, the cost breakdown screen shows the breakdown for the second estimate, because that is the estimate we did most recently. If we are going to revise Estimate 1, then, to avoid having to rebuild Estimate 1, the Advanced Costing module offers the ability to reload Estimate 1 to give the best starting point for the requested revision. We do this by first selecting to look at Estimate 1 at the Office page, and then selecting to reload it. We are told that it has been successfully reloaded, and so we select to go to the cost breakdown so we can begin our revision. We can now use the advanced selection tools we have been looking at to undertake the revision. In this case, we will select to apply a different carpet. We now inform the customer of the new price, and then we go to the Offers page. and then select to save a third estimate. Overall, we can work at telephone or face-to-face conversation speed to give the customer a revised price and email them the revised estimate. Now let's look at door trimming. With the advanced costing module, we can capture door trimming requirements and associated charges. When a door is applied, we can capture any door trimming requirements for a doorway. We select how door trimmings will be addressed. The selections made feed through to the cost breakdown as follows, and they also feed through to the fitting sheet so that the fitter knows what has been agreed. We will now look at a facility for designating open steps and having the associated charges automatically costed in. When we are defining a stairway, we can indicate where there are open steps. We can then untick any step which is not an open step. And then, when we arrive at cost breakdown, we find a charge for each open step has been automatically applied. Using advanced costing, costing a job becomes quicker and slicker and configured to your organization's costing rules. The aim here is as soon as the plans are done, then the costing is also done. The automated costing is done according to your individual organization's costing rules and is done in a way which is consistent between jobs and whoever is doing the costing. Let's look at further automation of the costing for stairways. The library can be configured so that additional charges to do with stairways get automatically applied according to your organization's rules. Here, for instance, there is an automatic additional charge for each hall, stairway, and landing. Some organizations have a charge for each additional bullnose and for each additional winder, and this can be configured if required. Another useful automation is to arrange that when a supply item is selected, it automatically kicks in its associated labour charge. We see here that applying 3mm rapid levelling screed subfloor prep has caused a labour charge to be automatically applied for laying this on the subfloor. This speeds the costing and ensures the labour charge is not forgotten. For accessories such as this screed subfloor prep, it can be useful to have the number of boxes or tubs of a product estimated. For instance, if a tub of screed covers 10 square metres of floor, then we can arrange that the system automatically rounds up to a whole number of tubs based on the square metres to be covered, with the system holding the price per tub. In this case, just one tub was required. The Advanced Costing module also enables minimum charge rules to be configured into the library so that minimum charges get kicked in when appropriate. This ensures that jobs are costed consistently and minimum charges are not forgotten. The minimum charge rules can be configured to suit your organisation. For instance, a minimum charge can be based either on the quantity to be supplied for a carpeted area or according to the aggregate quantity across all carpeted areas, or else be applied to each small room. It's also possible to set a higher minimum charge when an area includes a stairway. When a minimum charge is kicked in, it shows in red text so that it's clear to the estimator that one has been applied. Here we see a minimum charge applied to the charge for laying the screed. The system can also be configured to apply sundry items automatically, for instance, a delivery charge or cans of adhesive. We will now look at features which enhance the selling process. When an offer has been created, a Terms and Conditions button can be provided. This enables the customer to be shown and taken through the terms and conditions. When the estimate is emailed to the customer, the terms and conditions get attached to the email as a PDF. A facility to take an on-screen signature can also be configured in. If the job becomes accepted, there is the ability to capture a customer's signature. When we click on the signature button, the tablet can be given to the customer for their signature. Finally, there is an option for providing information about margin and profitability. It is useful for the salesperson to be informed about the margin on an estimate. This can be important, for instance, where the customer is requesting a discount, which we are willing to offer, but only if adequate margin will still be made. The Advanced Costing module allows, optionally, items in the library to hold both a cost price and a selling price to the customer. This appears to the library editor as shown here. So, when the internal costing is inspected, it can be configured to show margin and profit both for an individual area, as here, and for the overall job. We have now seen the main features of the Advanced Costing module. There are a few features we haven't covered, such as having separate selection lists for nosing, stair rods, and coir matting, and being able to subdivide the door bar listing into types when a large number of door bars need to be held. Overall, the Advanced Costing module can be well worth the investment, especially where speed of costing is what the retailer is looking for, with clear and complete information provided to the fitter. If your organisation has several users of MasterPiece, then consistency of working and minimised training time are also major benefits.